Hey, what is up? My name is Clyde, and I have pressing issues where I come to you for my dry cleaners. I talk about comics and other stuff that interests me. And today's topic is about I got this package here. This is a set of books that I had pressed by my buddy Howie, he runs a comic pressing service. Excellent work. I will post his information later on. And he just did a great job pressing these, and I'm about to take a look at them, try to pre-guess them, pre-grade them before I send them off to CGC. Now, he took a lot of pictures, so I'm going to post a couple pictures up alongside these. And most of the time I try to look over very carefully, but I don't want to take them out of the bags and boards. I want to handle them as little as possible just to not undo the work that Howie put into it. So I'm hoping to take a look at them, to try to pre-guess them, and I'm going to combine with my visual looking at them and the pictures he posted. We're going to try to make our best estimates and see how we do versus the grades from CGC when we get them back in 8 months. So hold on while I open up this box, and I'll be right back. All right, got it opened up, and how we had it wrapped up like Fort Knox. It was very well secured, a box within a box, a lot of padding, great packaging. Very happy about that. So let me start off with a couple Star Wars books. So I have 3 copies of, this is Dark Horse Star Wars number 7. The numbering's kind of weird because they kept changing the numbering throughout the series. This is these are newsstands, so they're very more exclusive, more hard to find. I've got 2 copies of this one. This is second copy here. I have 3 copies of issue 10. Sorry, keep the glare off. And then a copy of issue 13. Now I think this is the first Yaddle. So this one, again, these are all newsstands, so they're kind of. This one has a the UPC here is kind of got like a sticker on it, like the factory sticker. So that's intentionally on there, but it's well protected. So you did a great job with that. Hopefully, it's a little coloring difference between the actual page and the sticker, but I don't think there's anything you can do about that. So I'll go over these a little bit closer, and we'll take a look at the quality of what Howie was able to do with it. Now on to some of those books are for a friend of mine. Moving on to my books. These are mostly going to stay on my PC. This is all new Spiderman Ultimate Comics number 1. This is the second appearance of Miles Morales. To me, it's a better story than the Ultimate Fallout 4, which is about 4 pages. This is Amazing Spider-Man 299, which is the second appearance. Excuse me, the second Todd McFarlane issue, which is also the cameo of Venom in it towards the back end of the issue. More symbiote goodness. This is Marvel Team Ups 141. This is the first, tied for the first appearance of a black suit. And this is the first appearance. Also, this is what it's tied with that and Spectacular Spider-Man 90. This is Amazing Spider-Man 252. It's an homage to Amazing Fantasy 15. And his Marvel Secret Wars number 8, which is the basically the introduction of the black suit. It did come out, I believe, after the other ones, but this is the origin of the symbiote. All right, on to some other Marvel goodness. I have Thor number 2. This is the first appearance of, I think it's Gore the God Butcher's first appearance in here. Sorry, keep the glare off, sorry. And this is Thor God of Thunder number 6, which is the first appearance of Null. Those are both going to be important characters in going forward in the Love and Thunder movie. And here we have Wolverine number 1 of the ongoing series. This is the first appearance of Patch. It's got a pretty sweet back cover with a two-tone, half black and half white. And like I said before, I'm not going to take these outside the case. I'm trying to avoid messing up as much as possible. So any of the pictures we're going to take, I'm going to try to post any pictures on the film here, so we can kind of look at those there. Here is Uncanny X-Men 244. It's the first appearance of Jubilee. We have Silver Surfer 46, which is a reintroduction of Adam Warlock. It's not a huge book, but I thought it might be something that's kind of hot going into Warlock being reintroduced in the MCU. So I figured it'd be something. Hopefully I can. It was during when I was collecting about everything, so I don't really particularly care for that at all. But if I can sell it and fund the hobby, I'd be very happy. And I have 2 copies of X-Men #1, the Rogue Negative Space variant cover. All right, now on to the play-by-play. All right, up first we have my Rogue Twins. These are beautiful copies. If you look up near the hairline, there's a little bit of I don't know if you can even see there. Howie did a great job fixing it, or make sure that didn't get any worse. There's a little micro cut right there where the peak of her hair hits the edge of the page. And it's in both of the books, and you can see it more so in this copy. But then I've seen a lot of the ones that were for sale. Like I think it was just a manufacturer error that just maybe it's a grabber mark or something. But there's a ton of copies that have it, so it's something that I couldn't do anything with. Now, also in these books, the back covers were a bit of a train wreck for a brand new comic. I was not happy about that, but Howie seemed to do a great job taking care of that. Now, I also noticed that I must have caught a corner putting in the bag before I shipped it out to him. So one of these two has a small, tiny corner bin. I'll post pictures of it, and we'll. But based on these two, I think that both of them, depending on how they grade that micro tear on the top, both of them have the capability of being a 9.8, except for that corner bend on the one copy. So I would say maybe that one's a 9.4, and the other one's a 9.8. I don't know which one's which, but I would think that they both have that capability, 1.98 and 1.94. Again, I'll post the pictures of some of Howie's before and after work, and we'll just go from there. Alright, so up next we have Silver Surfer 46. Now, when I sent this to Howie, it had a lot of little issues, a lot of spine ticks going around, finger bends, etc. It's a newsstand copy from 90, 91, somewhere there. You can still see there's a spine tick by Silver Surfer's hand in the box. Another one here in the yellow. There's another one in the shoulder of is that Drax? Another one now by his waist. A couple little spine ticks by the UPC box, and that corner's a little bit rough on the bottom. And the edge looks okay. There's a little bit of something, a little fading below Pip. I don't know if it's just might be the light catching it. Corners look pretty good. Edges look good. You know, I apologize for the glare, but Howie did some work on this book, so this is a good. I'm gonna guess this is probably about 9.0 once it's all said and done. Maybe an 8.5, but I'm gonna be optimistic and say it's a 9.0. All right, up next we have X-Men 244. Again, this one I don't think had too many major issues going in Howie, and I don't really see much along the spine. That corner might be a little soft. Also, maybe it's the design. I thought it was softness, but it's actually, I think it's just the way it's drawn. That looks good. I don't really see any issues with this book. But again, I think Howie did a great job with it. It wasn't in bad shape when I got it, but it definitely has been fine-tuned. And I'm going to put this one in 9.6 plus. As you remember from my early videos, I very rarely. All right, up next we have Wolverine #1. This one is, from what I remember, it was actually pretty rough. I had one that I sent straight to CGC without anything done to it, and this one I decided to send to Howie first. This one was my less desirable one because you can see the wrap is a little bit messed up. If you look here on the top corner, that you see that white there, it's just miswrapped slightly. As it goes down, it gets less and less, and then it's just a little crooked. So this one's, but it's good shape otherwise. I think I saw one spine tick going along the edge. I mean, they say they don't hold misreps against the grade unless they're really bad, and this one's not perfect, but you know, I wouldn't, if I was looking to buy one, I wouldn't be very happy with that. But you know, when I'm buying the book, let's see, this corner looks a little bit soft. Let's see, where was that spine tick? And that spine tick is right there. That's a little tiny spine tick. So I'm going to put this one at a 9.4, 9.6. All right, moving on to the Gore books, or excuse me, the Thor books. This is Gore the God Butcher's first appearance, and edges look really good here. It's got a little bit of bindery tear, but I don't know if that's really going to hurt the grade. But you can see right there. A little bit of spine rub. A couple itty spine ticks. I'm wondering how much of that is design. I see one spine tick with naked eye right by that rock. But it's kind of hard to make out on the camera. Yeah, there's a little bit of spine ticks right here. So I'm going to put this one at a 9.4. Moving on to Thor 6. And going around, looking at the spine first. Just a little something there. That corner looks a little dinged. Sorry about the glare from the bag. I'm going to put this one around a 9.4 also, primarily for that corner and a little bit of a spine tick we saw midway down the spine. Alright, here's a big boy, Marvel Superhero Secret War number 8. Along the spine. There's one little spine tick there. Now this one is the second one by the signatures or the names, initials. There's another tiny one there. There's another little bend there by the Spiderman box. But these are very subtle. You have to kind of catch the light just right to see them, and that corner is pretty soft. It looks like a little bit of rub here. I think before I showed an earlier video of this, I think this one had been pressed by somebody that wasn't sure what they were doing. There was a lot of pebbling in it. It just wasn't pressed well. So I think when I was told that when I picked this up, they said they thought it was like a 9.4, 9.6. I'm going to be conservative. I think it's maybe a 9.4, but I'm hoping for better. So we'll see. Now this probably is one of the books I've had in my collection the longest. Amazing Spider-Man 252. And go on the spine. Let's see, a little spine tick, a little below the S in Spider. Another one right there below the yellow line. Another one midway down that brick wall right next to the names. But these are all tiny, tiny ticks. It's got some rub edge wear on that corner. This corner looks a little beat up. But this still looks very good. I know I've read this book multiple times. I think I did a video talking about how the interior of the issue doesn't match the cover. Like they have these two characters on the front as being both white people, but inside is one's a white character, one's a black character. I just thought it was interesting how they race swapped the characters between the cover and the interior. Okay, and so I'll put this one probably at 8.5. All right, so we have Marvel Team Up, Spider-Man and Daredevil 141. Let's take a look at the spine. Just a little bit of minor, tiny, itty-bitty spine ticks. There's one that's staple stresses. A little bit of corner rub on that bottom edge. Oh, can't forget Black Widow. This looks really good. Again, I'm going to try to make sure I post some of the before and after pictures that Howie took. I'm going to put this one probably around a 9.2. This is Amazing Spider-Man 299. This is going to be kind of difficult for me to grade well because if you see this black edge along the side is basically kind of a miswrap where the black cover is from the back is wrapped around to the front, and I can't really tell what's just stresses or what's like little spine ticks and what's supposed to be designed from the back that's kind of wrapped around to the front, which is kind of throwing me off. So I might overestimate maybe or underestimate, thinking that something is intentional when it's not, or vice versa. So I'm gonna look at this on spine. Again, there's like a lot of little white spots here, but I don't think it's from, I think it's the art from the back side wrapped around to the front. It's a lot like that Wolverine, where you see there's more of the back in the bottom corner there is on the top. This one's like the reverse of the Wolverine. So looking around, I don't see many other defects on this. There, like I said, there were some little, I don't know what it is, like some reddish here on the top edge, and I can't tell what that's from. Might be nothing, but they might grade against it too. And then these little micro ticks here, in one next to the copyright sign and one next to the R in Marvel, and I believe those are ticks. So I'm going to put this one at a 9.4. This one is all new Ultimate Comics, all new Spider-Man #1. This one it's an all black cover, which means it's not forgiving at all with any defects. So there's a little handful of ticks you can see going around the edge here. Let's see if I can get it to focus. 1, 2, 3. A little rough corner here. I can get back in focus. This edge looks good. That corner looks fine. Again, it's like a couple stresses here up by the staple. There's a tick over there by the end. I'm going to put this one at a 9.0, maybe an 8.5. But again, I will try to play a little optimistic and hope for a 9.0. I don't remember exactly what the backside looks like. I'm going to post some back pictures. We'll just see how that goes. Alright, so this is Star Wars 13 of the Dark Horse series. There's a little bit of spine tick right there, midway down. The corner's a little soft. There's a little bit of corner bend there. Otherwise, this again is a nice looking book. I don't know how badly that corner bend is going to hurt the grade. I'm going to put this one at a 9.2. This over here is probably the biggest defect. So it is color breaking, but it's pretty tiny. Again, this is a new stand, which is pretty rare. This is, I think, came out in 2005, which means that there weren't many newsstands. Were pretty much almost wrapped up at that point. All right, so this is one of the Star Wars #10. This, I believe, is the highest, my highest pre-grade one that if I recall correctly. I don't think this one has like any spine ticks, if I can remember. It's very clean. So this one's probably 9.6 plus in my opinion. Alright, here's the second copy. If I remember, this one had a couple more defects. And a couple little tiny spine ticks there. But otherwise, pretty pristine. I'm going to say this one might be a 9.4, 9.6. Now here's the last copy. Now this one had a couple larger spine ticks, if I remember. Here's one right there. There's a second one. Ooh, maybe a third and a half. It's got a little, is that a cut? Yeah, it's a little ridge running along the bottom. This one I'm not sure it's even, it's like a line running along the bottom of the book. It's like where they cut into the box, or not exactly sure what happened there. It's not going to be, maybe that one might not be worth grading. I don't know how that's going to affect the grade. I made it really clean. Otherwise, they have those 3 ticks and then 1 cut. I'm kind of at a loss. So I'm gonna say an 8.0. Really depends on how they would grade that groove. Running pretty much straight along underneath Outlander. Alright, here's the last couple. So Star Wars number 7. The edge. I don't really see any defects on this one right now. Say this one's a 9.6 plus. And the last one, same book. A little bit of rub here at the staple. Still really clean. I'm gonna put this one again, another 9.6 plus candidate. So this that concludes our dirty grading, and hopefully you guys got a good look. I'm gonna integrate some of the pictures of the before and after that Howie took and try to include them in the pictures so we get a fuller picture of what the grades are, or the potential grades are. So hopefully that all comes together and we have a nice just overall view. So please take a moment, if you can, like and subscribe, and if you want to, please give me your ideas of what you think the grades will be also. I'd like to see if you think I'm overgrading, you think I'm undergrading, you think I'm right on, or you think I'm just slightly off if I miss something. Please, I appreciate any feedback. I'd like to get it better and improve my assessments, just so I have a reasonable expectation, so I know what books are good to send in and which ones maybe are not the best to send in. So please like and subscribe. And all right, so there's a gentleman that's working at a church. He needs to find a new bell ringer, so he puts up a sign, and eventually one day a guy walks in with the sign like in between his teeth. He's like looking for but the guy has no arms. So the gentleman who's looking for the bell ringer asks, okay, well, you know, how are you going to ring the bells? You don't. The guy just kind of grunts. He doesn't talk either. But he wants to show, so he runs up the ladder, up the top still, up to the bell tower, and climbs inside the bell and starts slamming his face around. Bam, 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 bam. And it's like the bell's ringing, and the gentleman's like, well, I guess it works. So you're hired. So everything's going well. Guy's doing the job for several weeks. Everything's doing every day. Wham, 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 wham. And but one day, the bell ringer after ringing the bell, he climbs out of the bell and gets dizzy and falls out of the bell tower onto the ground. Unfortunately, the fall kills him immediately. So the detective comes down and he starts interviewing and examining the scene, and he asks the rector who runs the church and said, well, what happened? What can you tell me about the guy? He's like, well, I don't know his name, but his face sure rings a bell. So thanks. Hope everybody has a great day. TTFN.